Hello everyone, so we have a new gameplay trailer for Furkmuhdurk, and looking at trailers is not typically the kind of thing I like to do on the channel, but I'm very interested in the move list of this specific character because it is the first character released after Leroy, and I want to know whether or not Namco are going to release an intentionally poorly balanced character in order to inflate the sales of the DLC. I want to know whether or not that is now something that Namco does, or if they have changed their approach on that after all the backlash they faced after the release of Leroy. And then less than a week from now, the character is going to be released and we're going to be in-game with full frame data and look at all the rest of it. But for now, I just want to see what we can learn together by watching this video. I've seen it once before, but we're going to look at it again here together. Unleash the thunder. You got to buy the thunder first, though. Pay up, kid. And the Thai skin flute.
มีเหตุผลที่ต้องสู้หรือเปล่า
Alright, so the launcher he uses right here looks like down for 2-3 to me for the notation, and I'm guessing this is going to be his dedicated, like, standard launcher and whiff punisher, maybe block punisher for launch punishable stuff. The while standing 1 that he blocks from Brian is minus 16, so this move is going to be probably 15, maybe 16 frames to impact. If it is 16, then it's probably going to have great range and be a good whiff punisher. So I think, yeah, this is the standard sort of go-to launcher for the character. So this combo that he does right here looks extremely simple to me. It's like a filler string, a spin move, and an ender. It's very, very standard. But if you look at the damage, it looks quite high. That to me looks like 68, 69 damage. Probably not a full 70 maybe, but I'm going to say between 67 and 70 or thereabouts for a super simple, easy to do combo. It also looks like the ender that he uses right here has great wall conversion capability, so I think this is going to be a high damage combo character with simple to do combos that you don't necessarily have to convert in order to get good wall conversions. But that's true of many characters in the cast who aren't necessarily overpowered or anything like that. I mean, just think about Katarina, you know. Yeah, so we need to stop this at this specific point right here, because what's interesting is that this charged up kick that he does, if you look at Brian's life bar, Brian is not taking any damage. He actually blocked this move, but he gets wall splatted on block, which is very rare and unique, not something that you see a lot in Tekken. And so this is going to be a complete nightmare for newer players and people who don't know how to deal with this move. If you're just standing there blocking and you think that you're safe, but he can wall splat you anyway, it's going to be a complete like casual player destroyer near the wall. But I'm assuming that there are some significant weaknesses to this that you can exploit if you play at a slightly higher level. But it's really interesting, and these charged up moves that he has seem to be a sort of gimmick or characteristic of the character. It's interesting because Gigas, they designed Gigas to be a character, that's the philosophy for him, the character that you don't want to block against because he's scary on block. And I wonder why they just kept giving, you know, Gigas crap and didn't consider putting something like this on him. I guess he kind of does with the charged up, you know, back two and stuff, but there you go. Very interesting. And you can see that his red lightning flares up when he does that. Exactly how that's going to work, I don't know. And then the wall combo that he does doesn't look like it's very high damage to me. I'm going to guess that he has something easier. But that looks like a super standard like go-to option with guaranteed 60% scaling on the final hit. Kind of like that string that Leroy does. What's it, like 2-1, 2-1 something, you know? I'm assuming he has better wall combos. Okay, this is interesting, and this is something kind of annoying that they do when they release these trailers from Namco. Because you can see that this starts when the next move we get to look at is already animating. So it's difficult to tell how fast it is. But it looks to me right here like Hwoarang is preparing to do some sort of low, and then Furkmuhdurk is crushing that and launching Hwoarang with a hop kick. So we know that he has a hop kick, and it looks like a pretty good and powerful hop kick in my opinion. But because of the situation, they don't show the second leading up to the actual launch. We can't really see the range, and we can't see the startup, how fast it is. But if it is like a 15 frame hop kick, then that's a fantastic tool for any character. can see the hop kick right there. Launches nice and high. Okay, and they don't show a full combo. And then we can tell here that he has some sort of parry that goes into a guaranteed string for a big chunk of damage. That's one of his rage drives. So you can tell that he does a butt flop on Hwoarang. Probably a situation where he typically doesn't get a combo, but he can use this rage drive to turn it into full combo damage. Kind of similar to the other Muay Thai character in the game, Josie. She has something very similar, but she kind of puts the opponent into the air and she doesn't have that coming down hit. So then she can keep on comboing. With this, it looks like he just finishes the combo for you, you know? He has more than one rage drive, by the way. Okay, so this move is like really interesting because if you slow this down and look at it, or we just pause it in the middle of the string, you can see that it looks like, Steve's hands are going back. Like, this is a move that is actually parrying or going through Steve's hit somehow. And Furkmuhdurk is also doing a handstand. And a bunch of moves that have this handstand thing in Tekken actually have low crush. So that part of his body, the hand that is touching the ground, doesn't really have a hurt box, potentially. Kind of like, what's another move like that? I think down forward 3 from Mantis for Zafina. It's a specific example, but there you go. So it looks like it is a launcher, something that potentially has a built-in parry and some crazy crush property. So it's very difficult to know exactly what this move is supposed to do, but it looks like a panic move to me, something that you use when you're being rushed down to just melt through that and get a launch. So this is one of the first moves I'm going to look at when the character actually comes out, because I want to know how this works. It looks like the kind of move that could really irritate people online. Especially because it leads to a full combo, right? It's another cool ender that seems to have some good wall carry potential. Okay. So. Another rage drive, right? So apparently Namco think it's okay to have unseeable low launchers as long as they're rage drives, because Xiao Yu has it, I think Gonryu has it now, and apparently Furkmuhdurk has it too. First thing to notice about this thing is that the first part of the string that he does before the rage drive does not combo naturally into the rage drive. So it's actually a mix-up that he's applying here. So as part of a mix-up, when he has rage, he can use this very fast low launcher. It looks like they've made the choice to balance the low launcher with quite low damage. So if you look at the combo that he does here, he just runs up and does a whatever string, but it doesn't look like he's going to get massive damage for hitting with this, which is probably good, because again, it could be a move that really irritates people. I personally don't think that unseeable low launchers should ever really be a thing. It's one of the more controversial opinions I have, even when the rage drives and come out of back turn or whatever. But yeah, there you go. So he's going to have extremely scary mix-ups when he has access to rage, potentially. This is the new stage. The new stage looks really, really cool. It looks like it has balcony break and floor break in sort of 3 tiers. Beautiful looking stage. Okay, so this hatchet kick that he does here looks like it's going to be a low that gives you advantage on hit, which is extremely powerful. So whether or not this move is good is going to depend on impact speed and whether or not it's very punishable on block. But if this is any faster than 20 frames to impact, I think it's going to be an amazing, amazing, amazing low. And if you think about like hatchet kick from Brian, you know how powerful moves like that can be. Miguel has his version of this from Savage, and that used to force crouch, and it was nerfed quite heavily in Season 3. But if you look at this move, it looks to me like Marduk is actually recovering in crouch right here. So maybe they're doing that thing again where they're taking away tools from the characters that I play and sticking them on new characters. Kind of like when they nerfed Katarina's down forward one and then just gave it to Leroy instead. But Marduk gets counter hit on the way up here, and it looks, again, I'm not entirely sure, but it looks to me like he's trying to do while standing 3. While standing 3 is 18 frames to impact, and Furkmuhdurk is counter hitting him with a pretty standard looking counter hit mid. Counter hit mids like that tend to come out, if they're balanced, around 15 frames. So if without trading, Marduk is being counter hit launched by a move that we can guess is around 15, I think that this low is going to be around +4 or somewhere around there on hit, which is very, very good. So I think that this is potentially one of the most powerful moves that we see in the entire trailer. But it's going to depend, again, like I said, on is it unseeable and what kind of a punish do you have to eat on block. That 2-hit thing that he does right there after the balcony break just it smells like a typical 12-frame block punisher to me. I think that's going to be his go-to punisher for like hop kicks. I think it's like the 12-frame damage move that he has for that. Door break out of the stance. Okay, so this is a really, really interesting and important part. One of the most important parts of the entire trailer, because the move, it looks like it's the exact same move that wall splatted Brian on block earlier. And you can see that it's steppable on reaction to the right here, which means that, you know, they wanted to show you this cool thing that he could do, but they also wanted to show you that, look, there's a way out of this. It's not like he's going to completely bully you at the wall. So it's interesting. I don't know what he has to mix this with. I mean, if he has an option where he can, you know, pretend that he's doing this and then do something that catches you when you try and step right and still wall splats, you know, then it's going to be an extremely powerful sort of mix-up strategy at the wall. But this is probably just here to show you that there's a way out of that guaranteed on-block wall splat. And then he activates the lightning. And we can tell that the Rage Art just looks like a pretty decent range mid and pretty standard. I don't really care about the Rage Art animation, so we're not going to look at that. So it's not a whole lot of information, but we've learned that I think he's going to have good high combo damage with serious conversion capabilities. It looks like he has the potential of being a real bully at the wall. I think the hatchet kick is going to be amazing potentially. It looks like one of the more powerful moves in that, you know, then empowers all of your mids for mix-up. So it's extremely difficult to tell whether or not this is going to be a very good or very bad character yet. But if I was Namco, I would rather undershoot than overshoot with the power of this character right now, just because of, you know, how dramatically people reacted to Leroy. But it's a fascinating time, and I'm looking forward to seeing this character in game with the actual frame data. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this short little video. Let me know if you saw anything that I missed, or if you have any insights of your own to share. Thank you so very much for watching this, and look forward to a few days from now when we actually have access to the character, because I'm going to be making more content on him then. Thank you so much for now, and bye bye.